Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with fabulous concert programs, number 81, programs that you'll never hear live. Who are we kidding? But that make fabulous listening at home in the comfort and convenience of your own personal circumstances, whatever those may be. Now, we're in the middle of a Scriabin Symphony cycle because the first three Scriabin symphonies, the numbered ones, don't get much love. And I just find that astonishing because they are big, rich, fun, voluptuous, yummy pieces of music that would grace any concert program. And they're very interesting formally. I mean, for the most part, they're really quite original. And Scriabin gets no credit for it because he's supposed to be sort of all over the place. And, well, expressively, he was all over the place in a good way. But formally, he was actually rather concise and original. And his Second Symphony, which is what we're talking about now, has 5 movements, and they're arranged, slow, fast, sort of scherzo-ish, tempestuous, finale-ish thing. I mean, they're done in a sort of original way. I mean, I know that that's a non-scientific way of describing it, but Scriabin was a non-scientific kind of guy, except when he was trying to relate sounds to particular colors, in which case he was quite scientific, because he had synesthesia. But we don't need to go into that in the Second Symphony. That only happens much later. The Second Symphony is lovely, and it has a big heroic finale and a terrific tempestuous introduction with lots of healthy swats on the tam-tam. I mean, what is not to love? I tell you. So there's no reason not to play the thing, and there's no reason not to enjoy it, and that's what I propose we do after the intermission. Now, before the intermission, well, let's put it this way. One of the reasons I think that Scriabin's symphonies get very little play is because they are very rich. They're harmonically rich. They're saturated. There's a certain sweaty heaviness and obvious emotionality that some people find embarrassing or that distasteful or decadent or, whatever word, you come up with. It's a little tough to take. And there are a couple ways to program them and to deal with this aspect, which is very real. I mean, you can get overloaded listening to too much Scriabin at once, I think. And depending on how you choose the program, the music can either sound refreshing and interesting, or it can sound sort of like thick and heavy and tired. And we don't want that. We don't want that at all. And so I have chosen programs, for the most part, which offer contrasting works. And the contrast is the point. Now, in the program about the First Symphony, I chose 3 works in very different styles that all had the same underlying theme. It was music in praise of art or music or something, because the First Symphony has a choral finale. And so we had words and we could work with the concept. The second is purely orchestral, and so we're not working with that concept. And so I'm just dealing with the idea of contrast. I just pulled 3 pieces out of my hat and said, oh, this is going to make a wonderfully contrasting program. And so it does. They're all worth listening to on their own. We don't need to have some sneaky underlying reason to put them together other than the point that they make a refreshing contrast with each other. So we open the program with Michael Tippett's Suite for the Birthday of Prince Charles, who's very shortly going to be King Charles. No one plays this piece. It's delightful. I don't know why no one plays. Maybe because they're embarrassed about Prince Charles. It could be that its occasional origins, have counted against it. But, it's just 15 minutes long or so, and a charming sequence of movements, including a little march that appeared later in the Midsummer Marriage. I mean, there's nothing here that should prevent it from being a popular success. It's terrific. I mean, it's not entirely typical of like later Tippett. It's not crazy and wild, and it's not, it doesn't sound like anybody else either. It's a real one-off. So let's do it. Let's play it. It's going to be a wonderful little sorbet and amuse-gueule to get you going in this particular program. And after that, in total contrast, there's the Ginastera Piano Concerto #1, which is a 12-tone work, but a 12-tone work of incredible fantasy and drive and excitement and color, with that fabulous toccata con fuoco finale that became a track by Emerson, Lake and Palmer, with the composer's permission, actually. And oh my God, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Crazy piano part. It's thrilling. It's absolutely thrilling. It'll have the audience going nuts. I've seen it a couple times. I actually have seen it played in context less interesting than this. And it's absolutely marvelous. And of course, it couldn't be more different from the Scriabin Second Symphony, which we're going to hear after intermission, and which is going to come as the most vibrant and refreshing and romantic piece of expressive beefcake that you're ever going to encounter after this opening. One very neoclassical and contrapuntal, the other sort of avant-garde and nationalistic at the same time, and this last totally different pieces in completely different styles that yet will make a wonderfully powerful and compelling program that will send you home or send you off to bed or off to the bathroom or wherever you're going, feeling really good. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.